welcome to my channel. My name is Smiley and this is my green roof house build. The story to this house is there was this boy who grew up alone with his mother and drive himself to become a successful businessman to buy his mom a house. So this house was chosen by his mom and he bought it for her for them to live in. And his mom was a really big into planting all that stuff because she wasn't always a city girl, and she was married to this man. She got married to this man and she moved to the city with him. And so when they moved to the city and she had her son, her husband had left her. So the main character name is James, and James really loved his mother. That's why he bought this house, so his mother could plant all the flowers and all the plants she can while still living in the city. And the reason why he doesn't want to move to the countryside is because his business is here. So he figured that if he still lives in the city, he can still take care of his business and take care of his mom and keep his mom happy, since he's gonna, she has a place to plant now. And she said, "Don't change your plans just because of me." And that is why they decided to stay in the city. And so as the years go on, his mom got really sick and she just didn't know if she could keep the plants anymore. But he was like, "Mom, you work so hard and you love your plants, so why don't you just take care of you, and I will hire somebody to come take care of the house and the plants." And so this is where Lilith come in. So as James' mom is in the hospital, James found a girl to come and live with him for free, because he promised her, "If you live here for free, I'll let you live here for free as long as you don't let the lilies die or any of the plants, but mainly the lilies, and take care of the house. So there should be no dust at all in this house or any trash laying around." And she was like, "Well, easier enough, I could do this." And Lilith is a country girl. She is from the country. She moved here to look for a city life, and as luck have it, James have an open place for her to live for free as long as she keep the house clean or the plants alive. So she was like, "Well, I could still enjoy the city life and do all this stuff." So James strictly said, "You cannot let these lilies die. The lilies cannot die at all, or the plants. Try to keep the plants alive, but especially the lilies." So she was like, "Okay, it must be very important to him somehow, and whatever else." So she works every day and whatever else, and then she started thinking. She's like, you know I work a lot. I clean the house, I do the garden and everything, and I came here because I didn't want to live the farm life anymore, because that's all I did was take care of animals and clean the house. And so it's almost like doing the same thing. So she asked James, "Can I spend time outside of the house every now and then?" And James was like, "Yes, you may, but you gotta take care of the plants, because I need you to take care of the plants." And she's like, "Well, on the days that I want to go out and do stuff, why can't you hire a personal gardener?" And he was like, "Well, I will hire for like one time a month, but I will not hire a personal gardener to take care of these plants." And she's like, "Why? What is so important about these plants?" And he was like, "They are just important, okay? Quit questioning it. You are to take care of these plants because I need somebody here to be personalizing themselves with the plants, because I want them to take care of these plants like they're going to take care of a baby. I don't want some random people sending their gardener here and just taking care of the plants like they're really plants. They are not just plants." And she's just like, "They are not just plants? What is he talking about? I wonder what these plants really mean to him, and why are the lilies so important, And as you guys know, her name is Lilith, so it is a name after a lily too. So her dad really loved lilies too. And so she was like, this is kind of weird that he likes lilies as much as my dad is. Is like, oh, am I living with my dad all over again, being strict and loving lilies and such? And so she wants to know the story behind these lilies. And so she just keeps asking him. And she's like, what are you gonna tell me? And he was like, can you just take care of stuff? You know, you're living here for free, and if you're not happy about that, you could move out. I could always find somebody else to live here for free and take care of these plants and this house. And she's like, fine, it's okay, I could do that. And so as time goes on, she noticed that he's been eating out a lot. He comes home and he bring his takeout home sometimes, and he eat, watches TV, and then just go to bed. Like, he's really busy and he looks exhausted and stuff. So she's like, well, maybe his mom, something happened to his mom or something, because you never really hear him talk about his mom too. So she decided make him a home cooked meal, and she was like, for somebody who needs a mother in his life and needs a home cooked meal, and so I made you a home cooked meal, and so you don't eat out a lot because it's not really healthy for you. And he's like, what are you trying to say about my mother? And she was like, well, I'm just saying. And he was like, my mom is not dead, she is alive, and so don't you even say that kind of stuff, because you could go live out on the street and don't have to live here. You're living for free. So would you just stop being nosy into my business and stuff? She's like, I'm just trying to be nice. I'm just trying to feed you. I'm just worried about your health. And he's like, well, don't worry about me. Just take care of the house. Worry about this house. And so she was like, oh my gosh, he is such a jerk, like, seriously, I am living for free here, but I feel more like a slave. And she just like so mad, but she's like, I haven't really gotten a job since I moved here, so I cannot move out because I don't want to go back home to live in the countryside and take care of all that stuff. And I sold my horse to the neighbor boy, so I don't even really want to go back home. I just don't want to go back to that life, so I would just bite my tongue and do whatever. And so one day James come home, and James is like, leave. And she's like, what did I do now? And he was like, just leave. I don't need you here anymore. Those flowers don't need to be taken care of. Just leave. And Livius just looked at him. She was like, but I worked so hard on these flowers. I've been keeping them alive all this time, and they look really nice like you want them to. They are alive and well. They are doing well. And I didn't do anything wrong this time. He's like, it's not you. Just leave. And she's like, there has to be something wrong. You know what I mean? And she's like, do these flowers supposed to mean something? And he's like, those flowers don't mean anything anymore. Just let them die like the person that I just lost. And she's like, oh my gosh, what does he mean? So she just got more curious. She's like, at first he was so strict to not let me let these flowers die, and if I was gonna let the flower die, then he was gonna kick me out and such. And so it's like all of a sudden now he just don't care, and I worked so hard to keep these flowers up and running, pretty and all, and then he just turned around and do that. It just kind of made her mad, and so she like yelled at him and stuff. He's like, don't you understand? Don't you even try to do this to me right now. I just lost my mother today. And so she was like, oh crap. She felt kind of sorry. She's like, oh my gosh, he just lost his mom. So she feels so bad. So she was like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, yell at you. I didn't know. He's like, yeah, I never told you about my mom. I'm sorry. She was the one that loved these plants, took care of these plants. And I promised her I was going to keep these plants alive and well until she could get home and see them again. I didn't want her to come back and see that all her hard work went to waste and they were going to die. And so I kept them alive for the hope that she will come back home and see them well. And she was like, oh my gosh, that is so sad. I am so sorry. He's like, I don't need your sympathy. but since my mom is not coming home to see these flowers anymore, just let them die and you could go home. You could go live the life you want as a city girl. So, you could just go. And she's like, but I don't have any money. I have no place to go or anywhere. He's like, well, if you want, you could go, you could work, you could go find a job, and you could just start paying me rent, but you are done taking care of these plants. And she was just like, I know you just lost your mother, but why are you kicking me out? She's thinking of this in the back of her head. And at this point in time, she had already fallen in love with James, so she is like really worried about him too. And she was like, if you do this, what will your mother think? And he was like, well, she's not here anymore. What do you mean? What does she think? She can't even see these flowers. She can't even see how I've been taking care of the house for her. She can't even see anything, so there's no use of it anymore. Just leave me. And so Lilith just sit there and she just thinks, she's like, so is he just like gonna give up in life? Like he's gonna give up on this house? I cannot just leave, because what if he decided to do something stupid and whatever else? So she decided to stay, and he was like, why are you still here? And she's like, you just lost a loved one. I cannot just leave you alone. And he was like, well, I don't need you anymore. And she's like, you don't need me, but you need somebody by your side, okay? Because when you lose somebody, you cannot be by yourself. And so she take care of him. He got like really, so James became really sick because he misses his mom so much. And so Lilith had to take care of him too in the house. And so she was like, I will leave as soon as you get better. It's fine. If you want me out, I would leave. But please do not let these flowers die, because your mom is alive in these flowers. So if you let her die, then you let her die in your heart forever. And James just looked at her. James like, why did you say that? And she was like, I'm pretty sure your mom would be very proud that you let her flowers live, because she know that she's in your heart forever, and I'm pretty sure you're in her heart too. Just because she left doesn't mean that she left you wholeheartedly, because look at all these flowers. They're still alive and beautiful because your mom is still here by you spiritually and in your heart. And he just looked at her and he was like, okay, this chick is kind of cool. I never really got to know her because I was too busy with my mother and everything, but she's kind of cool, and she kind of remind him of his mom a little bit. But yeah, so he was like, okay. But she was like, well, since you're getting better and you want me to leave, I'm gonna leave. I am not gonna stay here to obligate you, but please do not let these flowers die, because like you said, these flowers are very important to you and the person that planted. And so when she left to go find a place, so he turned around and looked at her and he was like, you know what, just stay. Why don't you just stay and just stay and take care of these flowers. You don't have to clean the house so much anymore. You could just take care of the flowers because you understand them like my mother did. And she's just like, really? And he was like, yes, you could still live your life as the city girl. I will hire somebody else to take care of the house, but I need you to stay. She's like, what was that? He's like, I need you to stay because you understand me, you understand the flowers, and so I need you to stay. And so she just put a smile on her face. She's like, oh, okay, because she does have feelings for him. So she's like, this is very interesting. But she don't know if he will feel the same for her or not. But she is glad that he's letting her stay here because she doesn't want to leave him alone with his broken heart and such, and especially those flowers. So she take care of those flowers every day, and he will look at her and he will smile at her, and she like get all butterfly stomach and whatever else. And he comes, he was like, don't push yourself too hard because I don't want you to get sick too. Just do the best you can. And if those flowers don't survive, is fine, you know, because we could always replace them. And she was like, what? Replace the flowers? No, I worked too hard. These are like my babies. You told me to take care of them like my babies they are now. And then he just laughed. And she was like, it seems like your broken heart is not as broken anymore. It seems like you have kept your mom in your heart and as a great memory, so she will always be here with you. And he was just like, I know, thanks to you. Oh, and so he was like, you want to, go out together sometimes and do stuff? And she was like, are you asking me out on a date? And he's like, no, I'm being nice because you've been helping me so much around the house and taking care of those plants and whatever else. She's like, okay, whatever. Yes, I will go out with you to a dinner. And so that's how that relationship is gonna go. I think I'm gonna stop that story there, but I hope you guys like that story and I hope you guys like this house build because I have so much fun building this house and thinking of the story in the back of my head while I was building it. It was so much fun. And if you guys like this kind of video, let me know. And if you guys do like it, press a thumb up. If you guys haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe because it really helps my channel and it really helps me know that you guys do like me telling you guys stories to go with my build, because I think it's a lot of fun because I do come up with those stories while I'm building it, but I never really tell it. And so the last build I did it and it was really fun, so I decided to do it again in this one. And James and Lilith are, starting a relationship with this beautiful home, so who knows how their ending is gonna be. And so I will talk to you guys all later. You guys have a good day, good night, wherever you guys may live, and bye.